Hello students, welcome to CET program conducted by Sarvodaya PU College. So today I'm going to discuss some important multiple choice questions related to first PU organic chemistry chapter, that is hydrocarbons. So you already know that chemistry deals with study of hydrocarbons and their derivatives. So in first PU you have studied about hydrocarbons, that is alkanes, alkenes, alkynes and aromatic hydrocarbons. In second PU you have studied about the derivatives of hydrocarbons, haloalkanes, haloarenes, alcohols, phenols, ethers, aldehydes, ketones, carboxylic acids, amines, diazonium salts. About these derivatives of hydrocarbons we have studied in second PU. So theoretical part of hydrocarbons you have already studied in detail. Now let us directly go to the important multiple choice questions that can be asked related to, that is hydrocarbons chapter. Okay. So first question, which of the following type of hydrocarbons are called paraffins? Okay, so you all know that alkanes, alkenes, alkynes and arenes, that is aromatic hydrocarbons. There are different classes of hydrocarbons. Alkanes, alkenes and alkynes, they are open chain compounds, whereas arenes are closed chain hydrocarbons. See, alkanes, they are called as paraffins. Para means little, affinity. Paraffin means little affinity towards chemical reactions. So since alkanes are saturated hydrocarbons, saturated means around carbon, it is they contain only single bonds. You know that maximum covalency of carbon is 4. So carbon atom can form maximum 4 single bonds. Similarly, it can also form multiple bonds with other atoms, double bond or triple bond. So alkanes, they are saturated hydrocarbons. Since they are saturated hydrocarbons, that is the reactivity shown by alkanes is less, because alkanes, they undergo only substitution reactions. So for a substitution reaction to happen, first bond has to break and then new bond has to be formed. It takes time. Whereas alkenes and alkynes, they are unsaturated hydrocarbons. That means they contain double bond or triple bond, and they undergo addition reactions. So that is the reason why alkenes, alkynes are more reactive than alkenes. So the order of reactivity can be written like this: alkanes less reactive than alkenes. They are less reactive than. Okay, this is the order of reactivity. The reason is alkenes are saturated hydrocarbons and they undergo only substitution reactions. That is the reason why they are called as paraffins. Alkenes are called olefins, oil derivatives. Alkynes are called acetylenes because first member is acetylene. Then benzene and the derivatives, they are together known as arenes. Okay. Second question. Each of the following compound is a member of alkane homologous series except. We know that each class or family of organic compound can be called as homologous series. What is a homologous series? Group of closely related organic compounds which can be represented by a general formula. So general formula of alkenes is CnH2n plus 2, alkenes CnH2n, alkynes CnH2n minus 2. Similarly, if you take alcohols, CnH2n plus 1 OH, carboxylic acids CnH2n plus 1 COOH. So like this, each class of organic compound can be called as a homologous series. So question is, each of the following compound is a member of alkane homologous series, except, that means among these molecular formulas which is not following, that is the general formula CnH2n plus 2, that we have to find out. So if you take C5H12, it is following general formula of alkane series. C8H18 is also following general formula. C3H8 is also following. If you take C6H12, so if 6 carbon atoms are present, the number of hydrogen atoms should be 14. But here it is given 12. So this C6H12 is not following the general formula of alkane series. Okay, so this is the correct answer, C6H12. In the formation of methane molecule, carbon makes use of this very important concept. So generally, the formation of molecule, it is explained with the help of, that is, valence bond theory and hybridization concept. Valence bond theory, VBT, states that is, between atoms through mutual sharing, covalent bond will be formed. So for that, orbitals must contain unpaired electrons. So once orbitals contain unpaired electrons, they can overlap to form, it is, covalent bond. But the problem is, in some cases, directly overlapping of atomic orbitals cannot be expected. So for example, methane. So methane molecular formula is CH4. So here you cannot directly explain the formation of methane molecule by using overlapping of atomic orbitals. Reason is, pure atomic orbitals, they cannot overlap, because if you take the bond parameters of methane, bond parameters, one is bond length, bond enthalpy, bond order. So bond length, it is nothing but distance between the nuclei of two atoms. So in methane, that is, the carbon and 4 hydrogen atoms are present. Bond length is identical. Bond length is, it is around almost 154 micrometers. Okay. Bond enthalpy, amount of energy required to break bond between carbon and hydrogen, it is also same. So that means carbon is forming 4 identical bonds with 4 hydrogen atoms. That cannot happen when carbon is having this type of electronic configuration. So carbon atom electronic configuration in its down state, 1s2, 2s2, 2px1, 2py1 and 2pz0. See here you can see only 2 unpaired electrons are present. So by using 2 unpaired electrons which are present in 2 orbitals, 4 bonds cannot be formed. So that's why the concept of excitation is used. So in excitation, one of the electron from 2s goes to 2pz, making 4 unpaired electrons. See now you can expect overlapping between the orbitals of carbon atom and hydrogen atoms. But in order to explain the identical bond parameters for methane molecule, it is, we have to use the concept of hybridization, because s orbital is spherical in shape, p orbitals are dumbbell in shape. S orbital energy is less, p orbital's energy is more. So when orbitals having different shapes and energy, when they overlap to form covalent bond, then you cannot expect identical bond parameters. There should be different bond parameters. But experiments they have shown that that is bond length or bond enthalpy, they are same in methane. If that has to happen, then the energy and shapes of orbitals which are involving in overlapping of covalent bond must be same. So for that, the concept of hybridization is used. So in excited state, that is the orbitals of carbon atom present in the valence shell, they undergo hybridization, mixing up of orbitals of same energy to produce equivalent orbitals. Orbitals having same shape and energy is called hybridization. So carbon can undergo three types of hybridization: sp3, sp2, and sp hybridization. So whether carbon undergoes sp3 hybridization, sp2 hybridization, or sp hybridization, it depends on the stability of the molecule. So in case of methane, that is carbon atom undergoes sp3 hybridization. So this is carbon atom in excited state, that is sp3 hybridization takes place, results in the formation of 4 sp3 hybrid orbitals. So number of hybrid orbitals are equal to number of pure orbitals that are participating in hybridization. So 1s and 3p orbitals, when they hybridize, 4 sp3 hybrid orbitals will be produced, and those sp3 hybrid orbitals will be oriented around the central atom in such a way that there will be minimum repulsion, that is, there will be minimum repulsion between electron pairs. So in case of sp3 hybridization, bond angle between hybrid orbitals will be 103.5, and each hybrid orbital contains one unpaired electron, like this. So 4 hydrogen atoms, they approach sp3 hybrid orbitals to form, that is, bond. So this is one bond, second bond, third one. Okay. So between carbon and hydrogen, the covalent bond which is formed is due to overlapping of sp3 hybrid orbital of carbon and s orbital of hydrogen. So overlapping is sp3 s type of overlapping. So question is, in the formation of methane, carbon makes use of what hybrid orbitals? sp3 hybrid orbitals. Okay. Which hydrocarbon is formed by the action of sodium on chloromethane? So this is an example for Woods reaction. Alkyl halide reacts with sodium metal in the presence of dry ether to form alkane having double the number of carbon atoms than alkyl halide. It is called as Woods reaction. So chloromethane or methyl chloride, Ca3Cl, sodium metal. So here the alkane produced is ethane. As I said, in Woods reaction, alkane formed will be containing double the number of carbon atoms than alkyl halide. So if alkyl halide is containing 1 carbon atom, alkane formed will be having 2 carbon atoms. Suppose if the alkyl halide contains 2 carbon atoms, then alkane formed in that reaction will be containing 4 carbon atoms. If 3 carbon atoms are present in alkyl halide, alkane formed will be containing 6 carbon atoms. So Ca3Cl is containing 1 carbon atom. So alkane produced will be having 2 carbon atoms. So alkane containing 2 carbon atoms is nothing but ethane. A mixture of ethyl iodide and N-propyl iodide is subjected to Woods reaction. The hydrocarbon that will be formed is N-butane, N-pentane, N-hexane, all. Okay. Again, this is an example for Woods reaction. Mixture of ethyl iodide and N-propyl iodide. See, 2 molecules of ethyl iodide, they can undergo self-addition to form butane. Similarly, two molecules of N-propyl iodide can undergo self-addition to form hexane. Similarly, one molecule of ethyl iodide and one molecule of N-propyl iodide, they can undergo cross-addition in Woods reaction to form N-pentane. So, N-butane is possible, N-hexane is possible, and N-pentane is also possible. The answer is all. N-butane and N-hexane, they are formed by self-addition Woods reaction, whereas N-pentane is formed by cross-addition Woods reaction. Okay. Then, during coal-based electrolysis, hydrocarbon is obtained at. See, it is one of the method of preparing alkanes in lab, and coal-based electrolysis involves sodium salt of carboxylic acid. Sodium salt of carboxylic acid is subjected to electrolysis to get alkane. And during electrolysis, we know that products are liberated at anode and cathode. So let us take an example to understand whether alkane is obtained at cathode or anode, or first at cathode or then at anode. So what scenarios you can expect? To understand that, let us take a reaction related to coal-based electrolysis. Sodium acetate, it is sodium salt of carboxylic acid. Aqueous solution of sodium salt of carboxylic acid. Through that, when electricity is passed, see, normally the products formed in that reaction along with hydrocarbon, the byproducts form. One is carbon dioxide, sodium hydroxide, and hydrogen gas. Hydrocarbon and carbon dioxide, that is alkane and carbon dioxide, they are obtained at anode, whereas NaOH and H2 are obtained at cathode. So always remember, that is during coal-based electrolytic method, alkane is obtained at anode. Higher alkane is obtained at anode. Okay, so that is what we have to remember. So answer is anode. C2H5COO minus Na plus to give X. X is. So this is an example for decarboxylation. Reaction is decarboxylation, and it is also one of the method of preparing alkanes in lab. Okay, so in decarboxylation, that is a reagent is used which is called as soda lime. Very important, remember. And what is the composition of soda lime? Soda lime composition is NaOH plus CaO. NaOH is caustic soda and CaO is quicklime. Okay, so that's why the reagent is called soda lime. So when sodium salt of carboxylic acid is heated with soda lime, elimination of CO2 takes place. What is decarboxylation? Decarboxylation is nothing but removal of CO2 from sodium salt of carboxylic acid. So how reaction takes place? CaO acts as catalyst, whereas NaOH participates in reaction. COO, Na and NaO, they combine to form the byproduct Na2CO3, and hydrogen will be get added to alkyl. So C2H5H. So it is nothing but ethane, C2H6. So answer is C2H6 only. Understand? Next question. During Sabatier-Sederens reduction, which is nothing but hydrogenation with nickel, the bond length of carbon-carbon bond. So what actually happens to bond length? Increases, decreases, remains same, decreases by half. See, hydrogenation with nickel. It is nothing but hydrogenation of oil. See, generally oils are unsaturated. Normally they contain carbon-carbon double bond. So addition of hydrogen in the presence of a catalyst, it is called catalytic hydrogenation. Oils are get converted into fats. Vanaspati. Or dalda, what we say, it is in the form of solid. So vanaspati or dalda is prepared by this reaction only. So oils are subjected to hydrogenation in the presence of liquid. So this is the solid fat which is obtained is saturated. So here addition reaction takes place. Addition reaction takes place in the presence of liquid. So wherever double bond is present, so to those carbon atoms, hydrogen will be get added, and as a result, it will be get converted into saturated product. Okay. So carbon-carbon double bond will be get converted into carbon-carbon single bond. And we know that the bond length is in the order single bond, double bond, and triple bond. Single bond length is greater than double bond, and double bond length is greater than triple bond. Okay, so this is the order. So here double bond is get converted into single bond means what happens? Here bond length will be less, and here bond length will be more. So bond length, it is increases. So why it increases? Because carbon-carbon double bond will be get converted into carbon-carbon single bond during hydrogenation. Okay, so that's why it increases. In the reaction RCOO Na plus NaOH. Again, this is an example for what type of reaction? Decarboxylation. So this is the general equation, and this is called soda lime. Okay, and hydrocarbon is we eliminate carboxylate ion. So this is carboxylate ion, COO minus ion. COO minus ion, it is called as carboxylate ion. So that carboxylate ion is eliminated in the form of CO2. Okay. So during decarboxylation, CO2 is eliminated. Okay. So answer is option A, carbon dioxide. Carboxylate group is eliminated in the form of carbon dioxide, decarboxylation reaction. An aqueous solution of a substance on electrolysis gives ethane. The substance is, again, the reaction is Kolbe-base electrolysis. And in coal-based electrolysis, sodium salt of carboxylic acid is used, and here they have given which hydrocarbon is formed, that is ethane. See, in order to get ethane, see among the options, ethanoic acid, ethanamide, potassium ethanoate, ethyl ethanoate. Okay, so ethanoic acid is carboxylic acid, which is containing COOH. Ethanamide, it is containing amide group, CONH2 group. Potassium ethanoate, suffix OA indicates that it is containing ester group. And ethyl ethanoate, it is also containing ester group. But as we already know that in order to carry out coal-based electrolysis method, to get the corresponding alkene, we have to go for sodium salt of or potassium salt of carboxylic acid. So here instead of sodium salt, we are taking potassium salt. So what is the formula? Ca3COO plus H2O. When it is subjected to electrolysis, we get Ca3CH3 plus CO2 plus KOH plus okay. So these two are obtained at anode, and these two are obtained at So here, what is the product on ethane? So in order to get ethane, we have to start with potassium ethanol. Okay. The highest boiling point is expected for isooctane. Okay. One simple thing you can remember, that is boiling point increases with branching. So as the branching increases, boiling point also increases. Okay. Isooctane 2, 2, 3, 3, tetramethyl butane, N-butane and N-octane. See, N-butane, it is a straight chain compound. N-butane, N-octane, this is straight chain. This is also straight chain compound. That means they have lesser boiling point compared to, that is isooctane and 2, 2, 3, 3 tetramethyl butane. So as more number of branching that is present, then boiling point will be more. So this contains more number of branching. Let us write the structure of option C, option A and option C. Isooctane. Iso means branching will be at the terminal carbon atom. Okay, CH2, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is isooctane. Okay, this is option A. Here branching is present. But what about 2, 2, 3, 3 tetramethyl butane? So CH butane, C 4 carbon atoms are there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2. That means 2 methyl groups are attached to second carbon atom. Then 3, 3. CH3, CH3. Then this is CH3. So this is the structure of 2, 2, 3, 3 tetramethyl butane. So this is containing more branching. So as the branching increases, what happens? Van der Waals force increases. So due to increase in Van der Waals force, what happens? It is boiling point also increases. So option C, 2, 2, 3, 3 tetramethyl butane has highest boiling point. So remember, branched chain compounds are having higher boiling point than straight chain compounds. High boiling point, and these are lower. Okay. So reason is difference in Van der Waals. In straight chain compounds between molecules, Van der Waals force will be less. In branched chain compounds between molecules, Van der Waals force will be. Okay. The correct order of ease of substitution of hydrogens. So we know that alkanes, they undergo substitution reaction. Okay. Alkanes, when they lose one hydrogen atom, it will be get converted into alkyl. And there are 3 types of alkyl groups: tertiary alkyl group, secondary alkyl group, primary alkyl group. So if carbon is bonded to 3 other carbon atoms, then it is called as tertiary carbon atom. Hydrogen atoms which are attached to tertiary carbon atom, they are tertiary hydrogen atoms. Similarly, if carbon is bonded to two other carbon atoms, this is called secondary. And similarly, if carbon is bonded to only one carbon, then that is called as primary. So hydrogen atoms which are attached to that is primary carbon atom, they are called as primary carbon, that is hydrogen atoms. Secondary carbon atom, they are called as secondary, that is hydrogen atoms. And similarly, if hydrogen atoms are attached to tertiary carbon atom, then they are called as tertiary hydrogen atoms. So the ease of substitution, removal. So removal of hydrogen atom, which is correct, that you have to know here. Okay. So how actually we can find out that? So how actually we can find out that which hydrogen atom can be easily substituted? See, if you take tertiary carbon atom, it has three alkyl groups. See, the hydrogen atoms which are attached to adjacent carbon atom, they are called as alpha hydrogen atoms. So in case of tertiary carbon atom, how many alpha hydrogen atoms are there? 9 alpha hydrogen atoms. 3 plus 3 plus 3. Whereas if you take secondary, 2 carbon atoms are attached to, that is secondary carbon atom. So how many alpha hydrogen atoms are there? 6 alpha hydrogen atoms. And similarly, if you take primary carbon atom, adjacent carbon atom is 1, so that only 3 hydrogen atoms are attached, 3 alpha hydrogen atoms. Okay, so on what basis we can say, that is, what is the order of ease of substitution of hydrogen? That is based on alpha hydrogen atoms. As the number of alpha hydrogen atoms increases, then reactivity is also more. So tertiary carbon atom, it has more number of alpha hydrogen atoms than secondary carbon atom, which has more number of alpha hydrogen atoms than primary carbon atom. So tertiary greater than secondary greater than primary. So what is the correct order here? Okay, so how you can say that which hydrogen atom can be easily substituted? That is based on alpha hydrogen atoms, and alpha hydrogen atoms are nothing but hydrogen atoms which are attached to adjacent carbon atoms of primary, secondary or tertiary carbon atoms. Understand? The chlorination of alkane involves. So in first PU you have studied about chlorination of methane, Cl2, in the presence of diffuse sunlight is CHCl3 and HCl. So you know that chlorination of methane involves 3 steps: initiation, propagation and termination. So how actually the reaction is initiated? Reaction is initiated when a photon from sunlight is absorbed by chlorine molecule, and which breaks the covalent bond between 2 chlorine atoms, that is symmetrically, homolytic fission. So due to homolytic fission, so free radicals are formed, chlorine free radicals. Okay, so chlorine free radicals which are formed, they are highly reactive. They attack methane molecule in propagation step and finally termination. So option A, chlorine free radicals. Okay. Monochlorination of 2-methyl butane produces how many isomers? 2-methyl butane. This is the structure of 2-methyl butane. See here, monochlorination, Cl2. See, this is primary carbon atom. This is secondary carbon atom. Sorry. This is tertiary carbon atom. This is secondary carbon atom. This is primary carbon atom. So it is containing primary, secondary, and tertiary. Okay, and this is also primary. So there are 2 primary carbon atoms. 2, 1 secondary carbon atom, 1 tertiary carbon atom. So since that is, it contains 4 different types of hydrogen atoms, how many structural isomers you can expect? 4 structural isomers you can expect. Okay. So let us take one example, CH3. So one of the hydrogen atom associated with tertiary carbon atom is replaced by chlorine. This is the structure what? CH2. So like this hydrogen can be substituted by chlorine. This hydrogen atom can be substituted by chlorine. This hydrogen atom can be substituted by chlorine. So total 4 structural isomers. Okay. And in addition to this, the compound which is formed, it is containing chiral carbon atom. See, to this carbon, 4 not chiral carbon atom. This is same atom. Okay. Let us take one more example. CH2Cl. One of the hydrogen is replaced here. CH, CH3, and CH2Cl. So this is second one. Okay. And similarly, if one hydrogen is replaced here, CH3, CH, CH2, CH3. So here CH2Cl. This is third one. What about the fourth one? CH3, CH, CH3, CH2, 2Cl. Okay, this is. So total how many isomers are possible here? It is 4 structural isomers are possible because it contains 4 different types of hydrogen atoms. 2 primary hydrogen atoms, 2 secondary hydrogen atoms, sorry, 1 secondary hydrogen atom and 1 tertiary. So this is first one, second one, third one, fourth one. So total 4 structural isomers are possible when 2-methyl butane undergoes monochlorination. Okay. Dehydration of propane 1-ol. So propane 1-ol. That is the formula CH3, CH2, CH2OH. So when it is heated with concentrated H2SO. So elimination of water takes place. H2O will be eliminated. So what is the product formed? See OH and H, they'll be eliminated, and which results in the formation of CH3CH double bond, that is propene. So answer is propene. Okay. Benzene contains, yes. What is the structure of benzene? This is the structure, or I write like this so that you can easily understand. Alternate single and double bonds will be present. Okay. So contains total how many sigma and pi bonds? That is the question actually here. See, single bonds are sigma bonds. Single bonds are sigma bonds. So double bond, one sigma bond and one pi bond. Okay. Here total how many single bonds are here? This is one single bond, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Okay. And similarly, these are total 9 sigma bonds, that is 9 bonds, sigma bonds, plus see double bonds. One is sigma bond, one is pi bond. This is sigma and pi. Similarly, here one is pi bond, one is sigma bond. So 9 sigma bonds plus 3 sigma bonds, which is equal to 12. So 12 sigma bonds, and how many pi bonds are there? 3 pi bonds. So option C, 12 and 3 bonds. It is related to sigma and pi bonds. So benzene contains 12 sigma bonds and 3 pi bonds. Each of the following compounds is an aromatic except, okay. See, earlier the definition for aromatic compounds was based on smell. Compounds having pleasant smell, they were given the name aromatic. But as the time proceeded, chemists they came to know that that definition cannot be used, because many of the compounds which are having unpleasant smell, they are also aromatic in nature. Okay, so the concept of aromaticity was introduced. So any compound which follows aromaticity, then it can be called as aromatic compound. So what are the characteristic features of aromaticity? One is ring must be planar. Ring must be planar. That is first characteristic. Then there should be delocalization of pi electrons. Delocalization of pi electrons within the ring. Then it must follow Huckel's law. Four n plus 2 pi electrons. This is called Huckel's law. So any compound, if it shows these characteristic features, then it can be called as aromatic. Okay. Let us take the examples here. First one is benzene. So what is the structure of benzene? This is the structure. So ring is planar and there is delocalization of pi electrons, and whether it follows Huckel's rule or not. See here, n may be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. So here for benzene, n will be equal to 1, because you can also write like this so that you can understand. So there are 3 double bonds, means 6 pi electrons. So 4n plus 2 pi electrons. In benzene, there are 6 pi electrons and the n value will be equal to 1. Naphthalene. Naphthalene is a polynuclear aromatic compound. 2 benzene rings are fused with one another. So here, total how many pi electrons are there? 10 pi electrons. So Huckel's rule, 4n plus 2. 10 electrons we have to get means n will be equal to 2. So this is naphthalene. Okay, so it is also following Huckel's rule. Then cyclopentadienyl cation. Cyclopentadienyl cation. Cation is positive ion. So ring is there, pi electrons are there, but let us see whether it follows Huckel's rule or not. So here 4 pi electrons are present. So 4n plus 2 pi electrons. If you put 0 here, then it becomes 2 pi electrons. If you put 1 here, it becomes 6 pi electrons. That means Huckel's rule is not followed by cyclopentadienyl cation. What about cyclopentadienyl anion? Which is same, negative charge will be here. So negative charge on carbon atom indicates one pair of electrons. That means here 6 pi electrons are present. So for cyclopentadienyl anion, n will be equal to 1. It can follow Huckel's rule. But cyclopentadienyl cation does not follow aromaticity. So it is not a aromatic compound. Benzene is aromatic, naphthalene is aromatic, cyclopentadienyl anion is also aromatic. Which of the following product is obtained when benzene reacts with chlorine? Benzene reacts with chlorine in the presence of sunlight. So this is benzene. So it reacts with chlorine in the presence of sunlight under high pressure and high temperature. It forms an addition product. The product is BHC, benzene hexachloride. See, generally benzene do not undergo addition reaction, but in drastic conditions it can undergo addition reaction. So benzene always prefers substitution reaction instead of addition reaction. I think you know that in order to maintain its lesser energy, okay, in order to maintain stability, it will not undergo addition reaction even though it is containing double bonds, but it prefers to undergo substitution reaction. It is called as resonance energy. Okay. Unusual stability of benzene. It can be explained by using the concept of resonance energy. So in order to maintain that unusual stability, it prefers substitution reaction, not addition reaction. But under drastic conditions, it can undergo it is substitution and that's addition reaction. So with chlorine, it forms a very important insecticide, benzene hexachloride, BHC, which is also called as triple six, C6H6Cl6. So that's why other name for benzene hexachloride is triple six, or is also called as gamaxane, commercial name. Okay. The rate determining step in addition reaction of alkene involves the formation of. Okay. So addition reaction, especially if you take Markovnikov's addition. So let us take the example of propene. HBr. CH3. Okay. So